The Call of Duty Next event, in which over 150 content creators and streamers were flown out to LA to play Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone 2 early, has now concluded, and boy did we end up with a plethora of information and content to cover that you need to know heading into the beta, but even more importantly, the launch on October 28th. Welcome back to the channel. We are beyond excited to bring you Modern Warfare 2 content this year, and honestly, I never thought I'd be saying that with the game's original launch in 2009, but here we are. This is our very first Modern Warfare 2 based video on the channel, and we thought we would start off strong, recapping everything that you need to know. Leaving a like rating on this video would not only show your excitement for Modern Warfare 2, but would really help us out as we begin our content journey into the new COD season. So today we're going to be taking a look at the 8 biggest takeaways from the COD Next event to help you better understand and grasp the new Call of Duty title. Because though it's COD, there sure are some fundamental changes and informational pieces that you're going to need to know about. So let's start off with the basics and probably what many of you are curious about: the weaponry. Now, of course, this isn't the full launch yet, so do consider these are not nearly all the weapons that we'll see at launch. Probably closer to 1/3, and probably some of the more iconic weapons they're waiting to add once the game is actually out. But these are currently the weapons that are in the game as of now. Starting off with the assault rifles, we have the Lachmann 556, we have the M4, which obviously is expected, we have the M16, we have the Kastov 74U, which yes is apparently an assault rifle, we have the TAC 56, which is basically the SCAR. Moving on to the battle rifles, we have the FTAC Recon and the Lachmann 762, which appears to be some kind of FAL type of weaponry. Moving on to the SMGs, we have the Lachmann Sub, we have the FSS Hurricane, and we have the Fennec 45. The Lachmann Sub seems to be an MP5, and then obviously the Fennec is returning from Modern Warfare 2019. Moving on to the shotguns, we only had a single shotgun, but it did prove to be pretty powerful, and that is the Expedite 12. Then for the LMGs, we have the 556 Icarus, we have the RAP H, and we have the Sakin MG38. Moving on to the marksman rifles, they are returning, and we have the LMS, and we have the Lockwood MK2, which is returning from Modern Warfare 2019. And last but not least, we have the sniper rifles, and for that we just have the Signal 50, which didn't seem to be popular amongst those that didn't like to snipe, but those that did like to snipe, people liked it. But of course, we are expecting a plethora of more weapons. This isn't even including any specialties or additional secondaries. But thus far, we have a very solid lineup. Now, on the topic of weaponry, we can't not talk about the new and improved, depending on your perspective, I guess, Gunsmith 2.0. With the introduction of Gunsmith in Modern Warfare, we saw Call of Duty's class setup system change entirely. But now, with Modern Warfare 2, we have some additional changes happening that can be difficult to understand. Firstly, it's important to understand the driving force behind the changes made to Modern Warfare 2's Gunsmith, and that can be best understood through a quote from the COD Next event being, quote, "What if you can take an assault rifle and morph it into an SMG?" Which is a concept many players took on themselves over the last few years, building blueprints such as the Mini Gra, which basically took the Gra, an AR, and made it into a weird, odd SMG. The Gunsmith has the standard 9 attachment slots, but the largest change comes with the additional 10th slot for interchanging the receiver, which holds the operating parts of a firearm, the core of the gun, and is a large determinant of the family of weaponry a gun falls into. Being able to change the receiver can morph a weapon from an M4A1 into an M16, or an AK-74U, which is an SMG, into an AK-47, which is an AR, or an RPK, which is an LMG, and all fall into the same family of weaponry. Weapon families is a new key feature when it comes to leveling guns up in Modern Warfare 2, because you will no longer have to level up each gun individually to unlock all attachments if they are weapons of the same family. So to simplify, if you unlock the attachments for an M16, you'll also have those same attachments unlocked for the M4. Here, you'll be able to see the weapon platforms or families to see the progress you've made until you've unlocked the next receiver, in which then you'll be able to use all the attachments that have been unlocked for previous receivers prior. In Joe Seacott's words, this is a way to allow the player to build the perfect weapon for yourself. Now that we've gotten the most complex change out of the way, let's discuss perks, because that too has changed in a confusing fashion as well. This system is new in the fact that you now start with 2 perks and can be selected from the first set of perk options. These perks you will have as soon as you spawn in. Your 3rd perk can then be selected from the perk 3 selection options, and a 4th perk can be selected in another set of options. However, perk 3 and 4 are activated upon time/progression as the game plays out. A good thing to know about this is that Ghost is in the 4th perk selection, so you won't have to deal with players hiding and camping in strange spots until about halfway through the game, and we can have some peace now because of that. Alongside perks, we also have a large set of field upgrades, some of which raise some red flags as things I am concerned for, but hopefully we see changed or end up not being a big deal. Field upgrades can be looked at as a beneficial addition to your operator, similar to the specialists of BO3 and BO4. The 13 field upgrades of Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone 2 are a deployable cover, a tactical insert, which is interesting to see return, the trophy system. We got dead silence, which is certainly concerning as a field upgrade. We have a portable radar, which good old Modern Warfare 3, it reminds me so much of. We got the battle rage anecdote. We got the suppression mine. We got a loadout drop, which ironically is no longer in Warzone, but is in multiplayer. We have a tactical camera, which reminds me of Black Ops 1. And we got the munitions box, a smoke airdrop, which is a large line of smoke that will be dropped from drones. We got a deployable, inflatable character decoy, which is extremely interesting and should make for some good moments and very funny content. We have recon drones, we have a DDoS, and we have anti-armor rounds. Additionally, your operator will be able to traditionally have tacticals and lethals, and there are some new additions to these lists that you'll want to take note of. Starting off with the lethals, we have the frag grenade, we have the proximity mine, we have the thermite, we have the semtex, we have a drill charge, which lob this onto the side of a building and it starts to bore a hole. Once the drill is through, it launches a grenade that inflicts splash damage that flushes foes out. We have a C4, we have a throwing knife, we have a Molotov cocktail, and we have a claymore. As for the tactical equipment, we have the flash grenade, we have a shock stick, we have a decoy grenade, we have a stun grenade, a smoke grenade, tear gas, a medical syringe, which is basically a stim shot from Modern Warfare. We have the snapshot grenade, we have a spotter scope, and we have a heartbeat sensor. And one of the biggest changes to the heartbeat sensor is the fact that it now has a battery life, and once that battery life runs out, you can no longer use it for the remainder of that life. And last but not least, when it comes to building out your operator's loadout, we have probably one of the most exciting categories and certainly the most destructive: kill streaks. They weren't playing around this year, giving us a total of 19 kill streaks, or should I say score streaks, or both. Well, both actually, because one of the key feature changes for kill streak play in Modern Warfare 2 is the fact that on the score streak menu in the bottom left, you can toggle between having them as score streaks or kill streaks depending on your playstyle. Starting off, we got the UAV, we have a bomb drone, we have a counter UAV, we have a cluster mine, which is basically an IMS from Modern Warfare 3, we have a care package, we have a precision airstrike, we have a cruise missile, we have a mortar strike, we have a sentry gun, we have an SAE, we have a VTOL jet, we have an Overwatch helo, we got the Wilson, we have a chopper gunner, we have a stealth bomber, we have an emergency airdrop, we have a gunship, we have an advanced UAV, and a juggernaut as the final streak at 1,875 points. Now, for the advanced UAV, I do want to note that this lasts from 50 to 55 seconds, which is longer than we've seen previously, and that is a huge, huge W. We're hoping that they don't nerf this. Now that we've fully built out our operator, let's take a look at our operator's built-in abilities when it comes to movement. Movement has changed drastically in Modern Warfare 2, and depending on whether you liked Modern Warfare 2019's movement or not, this will make you either very happy or relatively upset, To start and to address the elephant in the room, though sliding is still a key feature, slide canceling is no more. Once you've initiated a slide, your operator will be stuck in that motion until the animation has come to a halt. You are no longer able to stop the animation by jumping at any point, or otherwise known as slide canceling. Additionally, dolphin diving has returned to the series for the first time in years. Originally brought to the franchise in Black Ops 1, dolphin diving has been a pretty useless movement mechanism, but I suppose we could see that change in ways throughout Warzone and Modern Warfare 2 and certainly make for some awesome moments and plays between the game modes, so I won't hate on it too much. Next up, we got swimming. Yes, it's returning to Call of Duty, apparently both through Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer maps, especially in Ground War and in Warzone 2.0, that are accompanied by underwater mechanics and swimming above water. However, once you're below the surface, only a pistol will be able to be used to protect yourself. Now, don't worry, there are several boats that can be used as forms of transportation with armor and turrets, but we aren't going to really get into vehicles in this video. Lastly, and probably the strangest movement mechanic we've seen yet, is the ledge hang, in which you can quite literally hang off the side of buildings throughout the maps. I'm not sure exactly how or when this mechanic will be useful, but I guess we'll find out once the game launches and people start feeling out the new movement. Who knows? I guess it could be the next slide cancel. Maybe so, possibly, probably not. Now, what will your operator be playing? Well, a ton of new modes. And that brings us on to our next point, which is game modes. Starting strong, we've got raids, and though your mind wants to immediately go to that of Destiny raids, think more so like Rainbow Six Siege, in which you will be securing hostages with 2 other teammates or storming a stronghold, requiring intense teamwork and communication. But more information is to come on that. Spec Ops is also returning to Modern Warfare 2, which we saw in a handful of CODs, but you most likely will be familiar with it from Modern Warfare 2 2009 and Modern Warfare 3. These are 2-player missions with asymmetrical design in which one player is airborne and the other is on the ground. Prisoner Rescue is a new mode that the developers seem to be really excited about, especially considering they featured it front and center in the multiplayer trailer. This mode has attackers and defenders in which you have to transport a hostage to safety or eliminate. The individual transporting the hostage has to physically carry them on their shoulders and can only use fists or pistols while carrying them. Last but certainly not least, the highly anticipated third-person mode is no myth. It's real and prominent in Modern Warfare 2. The biggest question has been, how is this fair? Can't they see around the corners and behind them? Third person isn't a toggle though, and in fact, it is its own mode by itself that you can play if you please. Aiming down sights goes into a full first-person POV rather than an over-the-shoulder zoom like the original third-person mode in Modern Warfare 2 2009, which has received some backlash, but others have complimented the smooth transition into first-person ADS. But with the amount of new modes and features, we are certainly not going to be bored anytime soon. And that isn't even accounting for DMZ, a Tarkov-like third game mode that will be free to play November 16th, but we aren't discussing that further in today's video. And last but not least, the 8th thing you should know is a collective of key feature changes and additions that you should know about that'll add to your Modern Warfare 2 experience or take away from it, but you should still know. Starting off with the fact that there is no red dot on the minimap. I know this one is absolute pain, but just like Modern Warfare 2019, we aren't getting back the traditional minimap, which surely is a disappointment, but due to the overwhelming amount of backlash, we can remain hopeful they change this for launch, but it's still unlikely. Weapon inspects are in the game, which is a huge W, especially for content creators. Invite codes are a thing now, allowing for easier access to inviting people, especially from a stream into their private match. This was a feature in Fortnite that proved to be very useful. And lastly, proximity chat is a thing in both Warzone and parts of multiplayer. This is going to make for incredible content and extremely funny moments.
We'll put you in the dirt, Bobby, for real!
Despite the fact that we'll certainly be seeing an increase in toxicity, unfortunately. But with that being said, that wraps up the 8 categories of things you should know heading into not only the Modern Warfare 2 beta, but the full release this late October. We hope you are just as excited as we are here at KARNAGE for this year's COD launch. The game looks overall fantastic, and we're excited to dominate the multiplayer content year with you all once again. If you enjoyed, don't forget to subscribe to join the KARNAGE, and we'll see you all in the next one.